If you said Die Hard,
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
you're correct. Now, back to the show.
It's weird. He can't get near some lines, and the other ones he just nailed.
Nailed that one.
Ozzy was
I'd watch a whole Die Hard trilogy with that.
The thing that's funny, I forgot, but I put Ozzy in a movie called The Hammer, and he just played himself, but he was the star of the movie. And Pete Berg, who's done every action, Friday Night Lights and everything, was in here. And he saw The Hammer years ago, and he said, that guy who played Ozzy.
I remember him vaguely, too. I haven't seen.
That guy was amazing. Who is that actor? I was like, that's Ozzy. That's just a dude. How'd you cast him? I was like, cast him. We built apartments together when we were in our
the whole
20s
movie
and
was
30s.
built around him.
Yeah. All right, what do you got? Some news?
You know what? First up, we got some science news. The sci-fi fairy tale of de-extinction may become a reality. Colossal Laboratories, the ominous name, and biosciences have revived dire wolves from extinction. It's like a wolf, but bigger and woolly. There's some footage right here. Yeah, apparently these little pups grew like twice the size of a full-grown wolf only in 6 months.
All right, well, first things first. I want to say this about movie plots and themes. When you do Jurassic Park and you go, wait a minute, where are these dinosaurs coming from? And they go, well, they're mosquitoes who stung them 10 million years ago, and they're encased in amber now.
Hey, Mr. DNA, where'd DNA come from?
Right.
From your blood.
That's right. Okay, and then I, as a viewer, I say to myself, okay, I'm in. It's feasible enough. I couldn't do it, but I could imagine a world where one day it was done.
Suspend that disbelief.
Right. But then there's movies where it's like these two guys switch personalities. What happened? Well, they were peeing into the same fountain when lightning hit the fountain. And I go, how does that make them switch personalities? And they go, no. See, in Liar, Liar, yeah, Jim Carrey's son, yeah, he wished at his birthday party, his 6th birthday, he wished that Jim Carrey would stop lying. And I go, okay. And you wish your dad would stop throwing beer bottles at you, right? Did it work?
No.
No, I wish my dad made some fucking money. We could go out to eat every once in a while. But did it work? No. So what I need is something more than a 6-year-old wishing before he blows out a candle on a birthday cake, or two dudes pissing into a fountain at the same time when lightning strikes. I need some DNA in the blood.
This is science fact. Their gene editing technology called CRISPR enabled the scientists to re-edit the genes of gray wolves that live today, the closest living relative. So they just reorganized their DNA, and out comes a dire wolf.
So this is going to lead to things that we can't anticipate.
To be honest, there's already things like CRISPR has been used to make cats glow in the dark.
Oh, really?
Yes. It's already getting weird out there, Carolla, I'm telling you.
Well, okay, but here's where it's really going. It's really, first off, every piece of technology always ends up in porn.
Oh, yeah.
It's always porn.
Genetically engineered
it all
huge
starts
hog.
off as great. Like the internet starts off as you could do your taxes over the computer or something, and then it's always porn. Everything ends up being porn.
All roads lead to porn.
At some point, like 300 years from now, you're going to go, well, Taylor Swift never did any porn, did she? Well, she didn't. But we got some of her DNA. And we're going to build Taylor Swift, and she's going to do porn. And now there's legalities.
Yeah,
Does the estate of Taylor Swift get money from her porn doppelganger?
I'm just asking if Adam Carolla clone, who's pushing his dick around in a shopping cart, gets the banger.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, then they start charging to lay down with Taylor Swift.
Damn, you're right.
Now, there was a story, and I've told you guys a million years ago, that a guy, like a rancher, had a prized longhorn steer.
Yeah.
It had some euphemistic name like Lucky or something. And the University of Austin or something cloned him.
Ooh.
It was like the first cloned steer. And you can look it up, Jesse. The first cloned, it's a cloned steer. It's been 15, 20 years, but it's like a cloned longhorn. And the guy who's a beloved longhorn owner who died, but the steer died, but then he got his clone steer, and he was like reunited with his clone steer. But the thing was evil.
I was going to say, did it have a mustache?
It was like Hasselhoff.
Oh, no.
And Knight Rider when his evil twin drives a semi-truck. The rancher in Texas, he cloned his prized Texas Longhorn steer named Watson, who had the longest horns of any longhorn in the world.
What was the clone's name? Sherlock?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. After he was castrated, the breeder saw the potential. Anyway, the thing gored him.
Get the
and
fuck
it
out
gored
of
a
here.
few other people because he was cloned, but he wasn't the same.
Cruel twist of fate.
Yeah, there's a whole story. You guys can look it up, but it doesn't always work
If you're
out.
used to Watson, you go ahead and pet his snout all the time, and then you walk up on Sherlock and he fucks you up.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I got my dog, Phil. He's the greatest. He's a big dude. He's a lover. And if someone cloned him, I'd walk up and go, Phil, and then he'd bite me. So that's what happens. So it's not all like Taylor Swift could punch you in the cock when you're going to lay down with her. We don't know if it'd be the same as this one.
Yeah.
All right. So it's on. I mean, we're heading to Jurassic Park.
We're here.
So
we're living in it.
It's like a million years ago in the Dick Tracy cartoon, like the commissioner would call it. He'd hit his watch and he'd see a picture of the commissioner and go, "Commissioner," and you'd go, "Oh, come on, that's never." We're here.
Yeah.
So we're going to be here. So my son's son will get to have sex with Taylor Swift.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, or whoever.
Three-way with two-headed Sabrina Carpenter.
Ooh. Yeah.
I'm into it.
Me too.
Moving on, Bill Maher says he doesn't hate Trump and says he's one of the most effective politicians. Yeah, on Sunday's episode of Club Random podcast, Maher said, here we go.
Trump really is one of the most effective politicians, whatever you think of the policy and him as a person, just as a politician, just understanding that always lean in to being more who you are. The people are not savvy about issues, but they smell a phony a mile away. And that kind of shit, nobody else does it. You know, there's a couple of times when, look, I've been his biggest critic for good reason. And when he got reelected, I said, I'm not going to pre-hate anything. And then the first week I said, well, there's lots of things I hate because I do. Okay, there's some things I don't hate also, but the way he can do that and sometimes kind of make me go, oh man, I got to give it up. Like when he did that thing where the guy came in from the Taliban and he said, this is an aerial picture of your house. If during our withdrawal, one American is hurt, just know I know where you live. I was like, oh, can we just play the music now? Because
Gangster.
I don't care. It's Donald Trump and he's the worst person ever, blah, blah, blah. I fucking love that. One time they were doing something was going on and he said, you know what? When you come after New York, you got to go through me. It's like, oh, hometown boy. You know, he has those moments that no other politician has. And the Democrats have to find that guy.
Yeah. They're not in the current Democratic roster. They're not going to find that guy because it's kind of an interesting. There's an inauthenticity to these guys, and it's kind of insane. I don't know. I liked a Tim Waltz. There's a Tim Waltz tweet that I liked from last night, which is kind of interesting because they do their. He's kind of the problem with them, which is doing a simulation of a person, but not actually being that person.
Like kowtowing to the weakest of the weak and pulling everybody's level down to that level, seems like.
Yeah, trying to come across as a dude. There's nothing worse than a weird dude trying to come across as a regular dude. That never works. It's sort of like a nerd goes and buys cowboy boots, so he thinks it's going to dude him up, and then you see a guy walking weird in cowboy boots, and now you take notice, and you go, it's worse than fucking sneakers. You're not helping your cause by attempting to do this simulation of a dude. But he gave this speech. Yeah, here it is. It's a weird, it's uncanny to me, but I think it means the audience thinks. You think the audience is stupid, and maybe they are. It's this bizarre approach with who's paying taxes, which, by the way, it's been going on for a long time. I told you guys, my mom said to me 8 years ago, she's like, but rich people don't pay taxes. I go, the fuck we don't. You don't pay taxes. I pay a shitload in taxes. I've cut the government a check for $2 million. Don't tell me I don't pay taxes. I pay taxes. Rich people pay taxes. Now, they look for ways to pay less taxes.
Oh, yeah.
But that's what people do when the government wants a check for $2 million. They try to get it down to 1.7.
Reduce your exposure.
But listen to his assessment of rich people and their relationship with taxes. And God, do I wish he was correct. I wish he was right. Here we go.
I think Democrats supporting families, supporting the working class, supporting unions, but I think we have to separate and have a message here. It's okay in America to be successful. We should celebrate that when people are successful. What my beef is, once you get successful, don't be a greedy bastard and not pay your taxes. Don't do that. Pay your tax and do that. And
all right, hold on for a second. First things first. The audience, a smattering of applause for work hard, be successful, start a business. That's like a polite golf, like, right. Pay your taxes, greedy bastard. Woo! Yeah. That's a knockout at the UFC.
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead and work hard, start a business, make your money. But hey, man, once you make money, come on, don't be greedy. Pay your taxes. First off, it's not optional. I ask Wesley Snipes if it's optional. Ask me. I cut a check for $2 million. If it was optional, I wouldn't have done it. They make you pay your taxes, and they don't. They fucking throw you in jail. They'll take away your passport if you owe. I owed them money. I tried to travel out of the country. They're like, no, you're not traveling out.
Really?
Yeah, you owe us money.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so try not paying them. Tim Walz, his portrayal of greedy people is just like, I made a lot of money, not going to pay my taxes. I'll keep it all. I'm living in California.
It's like a cartoonish.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
When I go to the supermarket and I buy my food and then they do the sales tax, I'm going to tell them to fuck right off. Sorry, bitches. Sorry, lady who works at Gelson's. You get nothing. And then when I buy like a home computer and it's like $2,200, but there's another 10% on for taxes, you know what I'm going to do? Pound sand, dude, at Mac's store. Fuck right off. I'm greedy. I'm rich and I'm greedy. So I'm going to stop paying. And you know when I register my car at the DMV and they're like, it's $587, I'm going to go, fuck off, man. Give me those tags. I'll take those tags. You get nothing. Yeah. I'm going to call Tony, my accountant, after the show and go, hey, man, I don't know what the hell you're doing, but what the fuck?
Tony, you're fired.
You're fired, Tony, because Tim Walz said this is voluntary, evidently. I thought we were... I thought we were compelled to do this by law, but I didn't know it was just a choice. Because we've been suckers, man. Paying hundreds of thousands of dollars every quarter. Yeah, let's hear his taxing one more time. It is awesome.
Don't be a greedy bastard and not pay your taxes. Don't do that.
No.
Pay your tax and do that. And let those young men who see this, now I would argue this, we're creating a false narrative from them that everybody is super rich and has Lamborghinis and life is easy. But that's what we're going to have to figure out in our society about social media and all those things.
All right,
but I don't think...
Okay. This 10-cent tard should not be in charge of any policy because he doesn't know how policy works, evidently. He thinks we're in some sort of voluntary system where Elon Musk agrees to pay whatever he thinks he wants to pay for tax. First off, everyone is greedy. So you fucking do a fight, you make $100,000, and then the promoter goes, yeah, I need 15% of that. You would like to go, you know what? I'll give you $500, but I'm keeping the rest. You know what I mean? That's what I would like. I go out, bust my ass, play a bunch of clubs, and then someone goes, you know what? I booked all those shows, so I need 10%. I'd like to go, you know what? I'm the guy who got on an airplane, so here's $10. And something I got from Gelson's. I bought a papaya. Didn't pay tax on it because I told the bitch I wasn't paying taxes, and I waltzed out of the place. And that's my move. You know my move? It's a non-tax move. Yeah. So his approach to this is greedy guys. By the way, it's like you're talking to 9-year-olds with a learning disability. Like, hey, greedy guys. And I was like, okay, they're not greedy guys. They're business owners. They have payroll.
Everybody's trying to keep all their money.
And they're trying to keep as much as they can. I'll put it to you this way. Let's put it to you this way. I get on a plane. I go to the Desert Ridge Improv. I drive to the Burbank Airport. I park my car at the valet, $40 a night. I drag my luggage into the airport. I buy a ticket. I take a crowded Southwest flight to Phoenix, land on a Friday, check into the hotel, which I pay for, and then do 2 shows that night, and then come back to the hotel at 12:30 at night. And then the following day, I get up again and I do 2 shows again. And then I go back to the hotel again. And then on Sunday, I do 1 show. I pay for all the meals. I pay for the hotel. I pay for the flights. And on Monday morning, I get on a crowded Southwest flight and I fly back to Burbank so I can be at work here on a Monday afternoon. Okay. I'm going to turn it to you, Tim Walz. How much of that money do you think you deserve? How much do you deserve? How much do you deserve of that money, Tim? Would I be greedy if I just said I want to keep 90% of it? Would I be greedy?
I'm a greedy man. Pay your taxes.
You want 40% of it, and you don't even know I left the house. So shut the fuck up. Jesus Christ. And by the way, all you dumb shits in the audience that are flapping your flippers at this shit, you're going nowhere. You're going to be losers. Do not get this mindset. Give us some money. Come on, man. Okay. I want to hear it one more time. I just go back to the start.
You just enjoy being pissed.
Go back to the start. He's such a fucking 10-cent head. And by the way, he knows... He's in government. He knows this isn't how it works. He goes, I'm talking to dopes. I'm talking to poor, dumb fucking people. So I'm going to pop a Mountain Dew and look like a poor, dumb people and feed them shit that's going to make them applause because they're poor and they're dumb.
Doritos for the soul.
Yeah, here we go.
I think Democrats supporting families, supporting the working class, supporting unions, but I think we have to separate and have a message here. It's okay in America to be successful. We should celebrate that when people are successful. What my beef is,
He's got a problem.
Once you get successful, don't be a greedy bastard and not pay your taxes. Don't do that.
Yeah. Woo!
Pay your tax and do that.
Yeah, do that.
And
okay.
Let those,
okay. He says nothing. He says nothing. This is
let
nothing.
Those young men,
stop it. This doesn't mean anything. It means nothing. We have a code. It's enforced. You will be put in jail, or lien will be put on your building, or levies, or whatever, plus interest, plus penalties. There's a system. That evidently he's unaware of this system, or he is. He's a fucking lying sack of shit trying to pretend to be a human being. And he's in front of clearly dumb people. It's the same idiots 10 years ago, 12 years ago, when Obama's like, you start a business? You didn't do that yourself. Somebody else did that. And everyone's like, woo! It's like, okay, fucking hack, lazy losers. Okay, somebody else started your business. Okay.
Well, let me lighten the mood a bit, all right? Jay Leno visits Sacramento to support classic car smog exemption bill.
Yes.
Yeah, the bill will be known as the Leno Law, or Leno's Law. SB 712 proposes full exemptions for collector vehicles 35 years and older.
35 and older?
Yep.
You know what you want out of a law? You want it named after you while you're alive, but you don't want it named after your daughter. That means she's gone.
You're done.
If you're named after your daughter, she's gone.
Oh, damn.
Somebody took her. She got abducted. You don't want Sarah's Law because it's like, oh, what the fuck happened to Sarah?
Yeah, and your phone will beep.
But you take, Bill Burr's Law because that'd be something cool.
Yeah.
All right, so what Jay? Sorry, we got Jay talking or just a picture?
This one's important to me because I'm an enthusiast. I have a car I bought in 1989. I still use it today. It's only got 27,000 miles on it. It looks brand new. But to get it smogged, I got to go, I'm in Burbank. I have to go to Downey. I have to go somewhere to try and find a smog station. How many miles I put more miles on it looking for smog stations than I do driving the thing, But it's true. I mean, I try to be the typical California enthusiast. During the week, I drive an electric car. My garage is all green. We have solar panels on the roof. We try to get off the grid as much as we can. And we try to do it in a way that we use environmentally safe products, biodegradable products when working on automobiles. And, they've come to my garage and given it the green sticker. So we try to do things the right way. But it's just hard when you have a vehicle that's not modified in any way. For example, if you have an old car and it's smoking, it doesn't matter how old it is, you're going to get a ticket. It's just not a well-maintained vehicle. But most enthusiasts maintain their cars to almost better than new condition, at least the people I know. And it just makes it such a hardship. Something that's legal in Nevada or Washington State, you drive right over the border and now your car is illegal and you can't have it in California. It's not even like we're looking for something special. Everybody else is 25 years. We're 35 years, so we do an extra 10 on there just hopefully get it to pass. But
yeah, I mean, look, how many people these days have an older vehicle? No catalytic converter, and carburetors and whatever.
Everyone, if you live in Cuba.
Yeah, if you live in Cuba, everyone's driving a 55 Chevy.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, where are the smog checks in Cuba? I should open it. You should open a smog check place in Cuba. That's where you're going to make your money. And then when you do make your money, you got to not be greedy. You got to give us some of that money back, okay?
Pay the taxes, to the communist regime.
Do the right thing. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. So here's the deal. I don't even know what we're talking about because there's almost no classic cars around. They don't get driven very much and so on and so forth. I do know there's 1,000 leaf blowers burning 2-stroke oil with no catalytic converter at any given time within 3 blocks of this place. So unless you guys have outlawed power mower leaf blowers, internal combustion leaf blowers, I don't want to hear anything you have to say. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? I all day, every day, there's an army of leaf blowers in every neighborhood in Southern California. They're just blowing away. This black soot's just shooting out of the exhaust, and it's waking everyone up who's taking a nap. And unless you want to address that, I don't want to hear about Jay Leno and his Tornado, his 69 Oldsmobile Tornado.
Under existing law, cars insured as collector vehicles and built in model year 1975 or earlier are exempt from portions of the biennial smog test, but vehicles manufactured after 1976 must meet emissions requirements upon transfer of ownership and registration in California smog check program. This would eliminate those stipulations entirely, offering full exemption without the need for additional checks.
Well, look, the theme over here is always the same. Just stop making rules to get in our pocket to impose more of your.
It's like
your
extra
stuff
taxes on top of normal taxes.
Well,
and then you got parking tickets and speeding tickets. It's like dumbass taxes.
You know what? I'm going out to dinner tonight,
Yeah.
and I'm buying, and I'm with a friend, and I'm going to a steakhouse, and that bill could come to $300, and then under it, it's going to have another thing that says tax, and it's going to be like $33. I ain't paying that.
Yeah,
shit.
don't.
I'll go, listen, here's $300. Here's $50 for the tip, but I'm not paying.
Send a bill
for
to
the
Tim
tax.
Waltz.
Send a bill to Tim Waltz.
Hey, next up, we got the richest women in the world, 2025. The richest woman of all is Walmart heir Alice Walton, whose fortune stands at an estimated $101 billion.
Well, I want to say this. I hate to say it, but I think I'm gonna say it. Somebody tweeted me this, and it was a story. I think we can find it. It was a story from Forbes, and they were like, there's 67 billionaires who are women, but that's still woefully less than male billionaires, and we need to do a lot of work to get the women caught up to the males. And I was like, I thought billionaires were evil. Weren't you telling us billionaires? Why do you want more bitches to be billionaires if billionaires are evil, or women billionaires aren't evil? I think is what is that what I'm getting? So nobody needs to be a billionaire. Mm-hmm. All right. So women remain. So according to Forbes, who probably thinks Elon Musk is evil, Forbes says women remain woefully underrepresented on the 2025 list. But so out of 3,000 billionaires, there's only 406 that are women. Now, that's on the planet. First off, I don't know if you can use the word woefully when you're talking about billionaires.
I know.
Now, she's struggling because she only has 827 million. So she's just fucking getting by. That bitch over there has only got $750 million. She can't afford formula. She can't afford formula for a child. Woefully. Oh, yes, you're right. You give me one more thing to worry about. Oh, man, what's going on in the Middle East? What's going on with China tariffs? And now women not being represented in the billionaire department. They're woefully. There's 406 women who are billionaires.
Here's an interesting...
and many who are multi-millionaires.
Well, I'll have you know that 9 of the 10 wealthiest women on the list inhirted their fortunes.
Sadly, I tweeted this out. And
I knew you liked that.
I said, look, okay. First off, we need 2 lists. We already have 2 lists. You have the male list and the female list. You probably have the black list. I mean, you'll do all the lists. You'll segregate all the lists. We need inherited it list that don't lump her in with the Spanx chick who fucking sewed the shit in her garage and went to swap meets in the 80s and sold this shit, out of a van. Why should she get lumped in with the chick that just slept with the dude who started the business?
The richest self-made woman on the list is Rafaela Apont-Diamant, the Swiss co-founder of the world's largest shipping line, whose net worth is $37.7 billion. She ranks as the 5th wealthiest woman of all, and one of just 113 self-made women on the list. Others include Oprah Winfrey and Taylor Swift.
So, all right. I just tweeted out, why are you worried about women not being billionaires if being a billionaire makes you evil? So they're a little inconsistent here because they're woefully underrepresented. But then a lot of people tweeted me how many women inherited this shit.
Oh, yeah.
And I just got divorced. My ex-wife has a lot more money than I have, so I get it. She has a lot more money than I have.
A sensitive subject, then.
Well, yeah, but she didn't do anything. She didn't earn any of it. She just
didn't write one single rant.
Not one rant. Inspired a few.
Inspired many.
Many. You're right. That's a good point. I think of it that way. So I don't know, but listen, who cares? And I do want a separate list of inherited the money. That's all.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess the list would just be all the other ones other than the 113. So let's subtract what was it? 300?
It was
113 self-made, and then 328 billionaires. So There you go. There's your list. Self-made versus.
There's 400 women, billionaires, woefully underrepresented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my
I wonder
mistake,
if they're talking. I wonder if that's part of when they do the Million Woman March,
Yeah.
and they all take to the streets. Do you think this is part of what they're asking for? There's not enough female billionaires.
Well, another fun fact is that none of these bitches pay taxes.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's how they got to be billionaires. Start paying your taxes. All right. You got another story?
No, that's it, bud.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, I was going to pontificate about the strength of Adelson, Miriam Adelson. The top 10 is Melinda Gates.
Well, Melinda Gates just got divorced.
Exactly. She got the money. The wife of, or ex-wife, I should say, of Jeff Bezos is on the list. Jacqueline Mars
Listen,
of Mars
can
Bars
I say
fame.
this? Can I say this?
Yep.
When you apply for like certain things in life, like when you're filling out paperwork, right?
Yep.
And they'll go, I don't know, maybe it's just for unemployment or disability or something, or maybe it's a dating app. You
All
know?
right.
And you go, your annual income is, $10,000 to $30,000, $25,000 to $50,000, $50,000 to $75,000, and then at some point they just go $100,000 and above.
Yeah.
Because all right, you made enough
But
to
that's
qualify.
a big
whatever.
gulf,
Yeah, but here's what I'm saying with Belinda Gates.
Yeah.
She can't get by with $400 million. You know what I mean? She's 56 years old. That's not. What I'm saying is does it? It's like child support. Child support is just a percentage. So my dad didn't make any money. So my child support would have been $30 a month, Right. But if my dad was a LeBron James, then the child support would be $87,000 a month.
And you play on the Lakers.
And he'd play on the Lakers.
Yeah.
And I'd be a different man.
Yeah.
But what my point is does any child need $87,000 a month? Is what I'm saying. Like, why don't we cap it? Somebody go, look, this guy is a super rich dude. This guy hosts a late night show and he makes $30 million a year. And he's getting divorced and he has a 10-year-old. So they go, all right, well, let's just run the calculation. All right, he needs to pay $251,000 a month in child support. And then I would go, what child needs $251,000 a month to be raised? Like, why don't we just fucking cap it? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, cap child support at $25K a month. Who needs more than $1,000 a month, a day, I should say, to raise their kid? And it should be that way with divorce shit too. Like Melinda Gates, look, Bill Gates is worth $50 billion. You didn't do anything to earn that $50 billion. Why are you taking $25 billion? Why don't you take $1 billion?
Yeah.
And then he'll take 49, and then you'll still be richer than everyone else on the planet. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I guess
it would make sense.
Yeah. I guess the thought
Maybe
process
don't
is the
do that.
standard of living. They don't want the standard of living for that person to go down.
They don't do it in California. Yeah, it's a standard of living thing, but why is you got to be the Queen of Sheba for the rest of your life? Why is that standards go up, standards go down?
Yeah.
I'm renting a duplex in Burbank right now. My standard of living has gone down.
Balling out of control.
My standard of living has gone down. Do you know that?
Well, yeah. I mean, just stop paying your taxes. They'll go back up.
Damn. You're right. Remind me tonight when I'm at Morton's.
All right.
That bill comes, and I'm just going to circle whatever the tax is. I'll
Just
be like,
scratch that part out.
now, you know what I'll tell her? I'll tell my waitress, look, let's see, what do we got? 20%, $60, $60, $300 bill, $60, right? Mm-hmm. California would be like $33 in taxes.
Yep.
I'll go, listen, I'm in a good mood. I give you the $300 for the steak and potatoes. I'm not paying my taxes because, I'm greedy. But you get a $60 tip. Now, if you want to take $33 out of the tip I'm giving you, you'll be down to 27. But you know, if you're going to get into trouble, I'm not. I decide not to do this. I like my money. But you can go ahead and take some of the money out of your tip and put it toward the taxes if that's what you choose to do. But I was watching Tim, and I've figured out that I've been played for a fool and a sucker, and I'm not paying these taxes. Okay? And then the next day I'm going to do the same thing at the supermarket. And if I buy it like an RV or something, I'm doing the same thing.
How long before the IRS shows up and just battering rams your door and snatches you up out of that Burbank apartment?
Well, I will say this. There's no such thing as debtor's prison. Like the guy who rented my warehouse in Burbank a million years ago and never paid me rent and owed me $50,000, nothing we could do about him. There's nothing the government could do about him. But if you owe the government money, you will fucking go to prison. There is
a snatched up blade. There is put him in prison.
There's a debtor's prison that you think went out in old English days. No. We have debtor's prison. It's called owing the government money, not owing me money, not owing the landlord money, not the taxpayer money, not him. There's no prison.
You're walking around in manacles like the man in the iron mask.
Yeah, but there is prison for people who owe the government money. So just think about that. Next time you want to expand government, I guess. All right. I want to thank Josh Duhamel for coming in here and having a thoughtful conversation. Ransom Canyon, Netflix, coming up. Me, tomorrow, in, comedy, doing stand-up, American Comedy Club in San Diego. Come on by and say hi. 2 shows tomorrow, 2 shows Saturday. Go to adamcarolla.com for all the live shows. Until next time, Adam Carolla for Mayhem and Josh Duhamel saying mahalo. Steve Wilkos in here. Dawson's in here. The Steve Wilkos Show, by the way, it's NBC, and you can check your local affiliates for that. All right, Dawson, what's going on out there?
Well, Jimmy Kimmel ignited a firestorm over his comments about the alleged Charlie Kirk assassin, so Disney is pulling ABC's Jimmy Kimmel Live indefinitely. Nexstar Media, which owns hundreds of television stations, announced it would preempt Kimmel's show on all of its affiliates for the foreseeable future. They say Kimmel's comments about the death of Mr. Kirk are offensive and insensitive at a critical time in our national political discourse. We do not believe they reflect the spectrum of opinions, views, or values of the local communities in which we are located.
So when all this was breaking, I was on the road in traffic doing a thing kind of half out of town. And I was listening to talk radio. So I love talk radio, but talk radio tells you what's going on when it's happening. And Mike August, who's booker and friend, and I was meeting him at the event, he's a sports radio guy. I don't get the sports radio guys, but okay. But he didn't. So, but he's very, he worked for Kimmel's show for 15 years. He's very finger on the pulse of what's going on. This guy, that guy, Jimmy. He knows what's going on at the Kimmel show, and he was there for a long time. He also knows what's going on in late night show business, because James Baby Doll Dixon, my agent, is Colbert's agent. Mm-hmm. It was Mike's former partner and Jimmy's agent. Also, it was crazy. James Baby Doll Dixon 7 weeks ago, he had 2 guys that were like the king of late night, mm-hmm. and now both on, over a decade, so on and so forth. So anyway, I'm hearing about this on the radio. And so Mike calls, and he goes, how far away are you from the gig? I got another hour in traffic. And then he brings up Kimmel for some reason. He's something like, oh, man, what's this Kimmel thing? He says something sort of innocuous. And I go, oh, yeah, man. That's crazy, right? And he goes, what? And I go, yeah. And so then I tell him, I think he knows that Kimmel's been pulled off. He does not know. So then I go, I said, what would be funny? Every time I talk to Bill O'Reilly always says to me, Connecticut guy, right? Yeah. I talked to Bill O'Reilly
last week.
He goes, hey, tell your buddy Kimmel to put me on the show. Tell your buddy Kimmel, rolling it every time. He goes, tell your buddy, I'd be great on the show. Go tell your buddy that. And Kimmel was slated to go to New York, go to Brooklyn, So he goes, he's going to be in here, tell your buddy, whatever. So just because I think it's funny, and I know Jimmy's show's been pulled, I tell Mike, hit up O'Reilly and tell him good news, I got him booked. He's coming to New York. Colbert's his lead, but he's going to bump Colbert, and I got you in there instead. And Jimmy goes, Mike goes, you want me to do what with O'Reilly? I go, just hit up O'Reilly's people. Tell him good news. I got him booked on Kimmel's show. He goes, you got him booked on Kimmel's show? I go, yeah, tell him that. Tell him that. It's funny. Well, I don't get it. Why did you book him on Kimmel's show? I thought Kimmel said okay. So this goes on for 10 minutes. I go, Mike, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's funny, right? He goes, why is it funny? And I go, because it's a funny joke. Because O'Reilly's always hit me up, and now it'd be funny if you told him I got him booked on. Right. And he goes, I don't get what's funny about that. And I go, it's funny because Jimmy's show got canceled. And he goes, what? I go, yes, Jimmy's show got canceled. He goes, what are you talking about? I go, what the fuck, Mike? Don't you have a radio? You got a phone? I've been on the road for an hour. I've been on the road for an hour. He goes, I go, just don't say, how far are you from the gig? He goes, 5 minutes. I go, just go there, park your car, get your phone out, and call me back. And then he calls me back, and he's like, holy shit. And I'm like, now you can see how funny that O'Reilly joke is, right? And he's like, well, yeah, now I get it. So I said, well, hit O'Reilly anyway, because this is going to be funny, because I just want to do this. And then, Mike's talking, when affiliates, he was saying, I think it was Conan had one affiliate in Boston drop him, and that's when the domino effect started happening with Conan. But, he knows the nuts and the bolts of TV and late night and affiliates, and once X amount of affiliates, it's once the affiliates drop you or a group drops you, then you get dropped. Now, so then I'm very weird about sending texts to people that are in the middle of stuff, because I feel like they're being flooded with text, and then it feels like a burden to them because they feel compelled to answer your text in a pile of text that they're getting.
Well, I would imagine you were on the receiving end of that. I was yesterday. I got onto a group thing with all the guys who worked there and stuff like that. The usual suspects, the guys I watch football with and stuff. But I also had a gig, so I basically shut it off.
I just have to go perform and be on stage and do whatever I'm doing. I can't sit around, get a private room, and look at my phone. It happened right when I got there. But there was a break. And I said to Jimmy, I just sent him a text because, you want to be on record as like understanding or knowing or whatever. So then I just sent him a text that just said, thinking about you, hope you're okay. And then I always write, I don't know, maybe this is a reverse psychology thing, but I always write, you don't need to reply because I just want, it's like, your dad died, hey, Steve, sorry. Yeah. Handle your business. I understand. I don't want you actually writing me back and telling me thank you for, it's a tough time for all of us. I'm thinking about you.
I'll lead with that sometimes. No need to reply. Just making sure you're cool.
All right. He wrote back 18 seconds later, which is how Jimmy does. He just writes back, and maybe he's passive aggressive. Maybe it's my no need to reply makes him reply faster, but he just replied, and he's like, wow, strange times out here, or whatever. And then I told my booked O'Reilly on the show. I said, look, as long as you're replying, I'm going to just tell you I booked O'Reilly, but I make a joke. And then he just wrote back, I'm being followed by a helicopter. And I was like, oh, wow, these are strange times,
Wow.
So, I just said, stay safe, good. I think a lot of people want me to comment on it. My feeling is this. I don't think he should have been fired. It's a weird thing. The right and the left are always sort of misinterpreting things. He was inaccurate about something. It wasn't like he was necessarily attacking Charlie Kirk. He was trying to dump it on Trump and inaccurate about it, because that's what we're living in, a time where something happens. Nancy Pelosi's husband gets hit with a hammer. This side says he's had a MAGA hat on. That side says he's some kind of nudist hippie from Haight-Ashbury. That's all we do now. I don't feel like it's necessary, but that's all we do. But also, and I don't like the government getting involved. And I've heard every side of the story. And in general, I just want people to speak, and then the ratings will do the talking, and you can support them or not support them. And if that's what you want to watch, you can watch it, or you can watch Gutfeld and listen to him bash Kimmel, or however you want to do it. That's the world I'd like to live in. But it's not the world we're living in, and I understand people's arguments. And my thing is just, my perspective is different just because I know Jimmy. And I know Jimmy to be a very good guy and a generous guy, and I've always said that about him. And I realize that while everyone else knows Jimmy as a caricature, I know him as a person. So when people, when I run into the people that don't know Jimmy as a person, I'll O'Reilly or Dave Rubin or Dennis Prager, and they go, "What's up with your buddy Jimmy?" Well, I know him, so that's why I don't think of him like you think of him. But on the other hand, they think of you as a cartoon character too, and I know you. I know Dennis Prager's a very sweet man, lovely man, but these guys on the other side think of you as a cartoon character. And then at a certain point, there's the assassin who thinks of Charlie Kirk as a cartoon character, not a dude. Yeah. I know him as a guy, sweet guy, fair guy, family guy, good American. But that guy looks at him as a cartoon character, and that's why he gets to kill him. You see? And so I know Jimmy as a human, and I know how good he is, and I know how decent he is. And we disagree politically, but who cares?
Right.
We disagree. We disagree on pizza toppings as well, but it doesn't mean we don't talk, And that's the part I don't get.
Right? Because I lean conservative. Jerry was a super liberal guy, and we would have discussions all the time, but we loved each other. I mean, I loved the man. He loved me. I mean, I saw him a month, and we'd talk about not burning somebody. Jerry came to see me. I know he knew this was the last time he was ever going to see me. He didn't burn me with, "Hey, Steve, I'm dying."
Right.
Like, he wanted to see me one more time, but he was not going to burn, and, that's just the way he was. But my point is, like, all these years, we spent 30 years together, and we had opposing views. But I loved him. He loved me. We loved getting together, being together. Now, it seems like if you have opposing views, people are cutting you out. Like, I don't want you in my life anymore. Right. You don't think like me, which to me is like craziness, right? People are cutting their own mothers off, their parents off, because you see these kids on TikTok. I won't have anything to do with my parents anymore because, they think opposite of me.
It seems it's a larger operation.
Yeah, it's just
splitting
the world
up the families,
is
dividing everyone against each other.
Strange times, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you're cutting people that you love out of your life because they don't think like you. It's crazy.
I don't. First off, I don't get what's in it for you. You know what I mean? Like, I would like to enjoy Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? And we can watch a football game and eat some turkey and drink a little bit. We don't need to talk about any of this stuff. I think for me, it's always been a thing where it's always he said, she said. But I think there is a division to be made, or a delineation to be made, which is there are people that are on the left and the right, and the left people nobody thinks Jon Stewart is an evil guy. They think of him as, I disagree with this guy politically. They even will say he's talented, he's smart, he's bright, you know. I'm sure he's a good dad. I'm sure he's a good husband. He's a good dude. I disagree with him. I disagree with whatever his policies are. Okay, that's fine. But, you know, when you start getting into this guy's evil, well, then we're going to a different place, because the disagreement, whether it's at Thanksgiving with your niece and your nephew, if you know, you're a Steelers guy and they're Ravens fans, that's fine. That's how the world comes down. We come down to everyone's a fan of something. You're a Chevy guy, I'm a Ford guy, you know, whatever we do. But if you're a Chevy guy and I'm an evil guy, and you're a Pittsburgh guy and I'm an evil guy, right, and you like anchovies on your pizza and I'm an evil guy, well, at some point, I can't come to Thanksgiving. And at an extreme point, I'm going to need to be put down.
Right.
And that's the problem. And I think that's the division that we're talking about, which is the right and the left go, oh, you guys sling just as much mud as we do. Right. But we're calling people stupid or low IQ or slow or sleepy or whatever he's doing. You're going with the evil part. And that's when the bullets start flying.
Yeah.
I think they've also underestimated just how much this country has, I guess, come together behind Charlie Kirk, and how this is incredibly wrong. Would you like to see what Kimmel said?
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it, but we can.
We'll leave the long cut in there because
we can play it. It's him going after Trump.
Well, it's not necessarily just going after Trump. It's after everyone who voted for Trump.
I guess that's where the MAGA problem is. Yeah.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half-staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition.
Now, see, there's nothing wrong with that.
That part
in
was,
my mind.
Yes.
The other part, inaccurate, but like I said, yeah, I can't turn on Jimmy because he made my career. And I know him as a person. I just was talking to him before this, just sort of, he was at the Emmys. I just said, what's going on? He said, I'm at the Emmys. I got to sit here for 4 hours and not win anything. And it was just a human, funny conversation. Rennie Harlan, the famous film director, is out there. Got here a little early, so I'm going to wrap it up just a beat early and get Rennie out here. Steve, the show on NBC, no danger of being pulled by the affiliates.
No, because when they tell me something, I listen.
You can go. Should we go? You can check your local affiliates, right?
Yeah, we're all over. Go to stevewilkos.com and they'll tell you where it's at.
Thanks, Steve.
Hi, Adam. I was frying bacon this morning and thinking about you. When it comes to sandwich moms, I'm wondering if you can take the sandwich making too far. For instance, I make the sourdough bread from scratch. I make the mayonnaise from scratch. I do layers of turkey, 2 types of cheese, grilled onions, bacon. Then at the end, I toast the sandwich in the pan so that the cheese melts everything together. There's always a pickle spear on the side. So my question for you is extreme sandwich mom just as bad as shitty sandwich mom or no sandwich mom? Would love to hear your thoughts. Get it on.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Anything can take a turn toward the dark side, you know, like there's women who work out too much, you know, and you go, well, that sounds like you got a nice fit wife there. But yeah, but she's a little too obsessed with it, you know. There's like a sexual version of that. Anything to the extreme. If it is a negative, it's something I would have liked to take for a test ride for about 11 years.
Whoa.
From age 5 to 16.
Well, Ed Gein's mom's made him delicious sandwiches. Look what happened to him.
I saw that. There's a series on now with that. I'm tempted to watch that.
I read many books on the case, and wow.
Can I say we may have a new leader in the shit sandwich clubhouse? I'm looking at you, Dawson, for a reason. I like to know where everyone's mom is in the sandwich department. Andrew's mom's a toasted bread mom. Going to see her in Philly coming up this weekend. But I got to chatting with our friend Izzy backstage at Kimmel's Club, Dawson's buddy, my buddy, come out, helps with the merch, so on and so forth. And he brought up the sandwich, and I know he's pretty, whitish trash, And he described the sandwich his mom made, which, now, remember, Dr. Drew, hold on. Michael Chiklis is the top of the sandwich list so far that his dad had a sandwich that he invented that was sold, named after him or something, and his mom made like fresh bread and stuff like that. So
he's number one with a bullet.
Michael Chiklis is the commish of sandwiches. And then Dr. Drew's at the bottom with the shit sandwich. I'm lower than him with no sandwich, but Izzy may have bumped Dr. Drew off in the shit sandwich department.
What's the sandwich?
I can't believe you spent that much time drinking with that man and you didn't find out what his sandwich was growing up.
Food would fuck with our buzz, so we don't need
well, talking about food's not going to soak up any alcohol. Last I checked.
It's a mental thing.
You're right. You're right. You even talk about a sandwich, you feel the buzz wearing off.
Exactly.
So he said he got white bread, American cheese, not grilled, just American cheese, white bread, and jelly.
That's disgusting.
I said I've never heard of that sandwich.
Child abuse calls Child Protective Services.
Like fucking shitty grape jelly on top of the cold American cheese on the white bread.
It makes perfect sense why Izzy never told me that before.
Yeah.
That is a horrible experience.
You wanted me never to talk about on the air, but here we are.
And unusual.
Yeah, so now I got to drill down with Drew because Drew is, he uses a little hyperbole. His shit sandwich may not have been as bad as Izzy's shit sandwich. Still can't beat my no sandwich, but Izzy's giving it a try with his shit sandwich because that sounds horrible. And I don't know something less nutritious you could send your kid to school with. It's white bread, processed cheese, and the grape jelly back then was just corn syrup and purple dye number 7 and, horse hoof.
Sugar and trans fats. Perfect.
Perfect. Yeah, and carbs. And empty carbs. When the carb is sticking to the roof of your mouth, it is empty, baby.
All the nutritional value has been bleached away in that Wonder Bread.
All right. So maybe is he at the top of the pyramid?
I think so.
I think so too, man.
All right, what's going on in the news?
Well, in the news, you'll be surprised to know that Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom vetoed a bipartisan bill to raise the salaries of California firefighters 9 months after the most expensive inferno in state history incinerated Los Angeles.
Well, first off, okay. Firefighters, and one of the reasons I want to be a firefighter is I learned the schedule, and they would tell me all the time. They'd go like, 3 days on, 4 days off, or something like that. And I go, what's 3 days on mean? It's like, well, you live at the firehouse. I was like, well, what do you do? Well, eat chili, play foosball, clean the fire truck, go out on calls. And I was like, that feels like, and then 4 days of off? You know what I mean? Like firemen work. I don't know. Look it up. LA County firefighter. But I would say firefighters work less than half the number of days in every month. So
sounds like 3 to 4. Yeah, that works out.
I mean, out of a 30-day month, they work 13 days or something like that. Now, I know everyone talks about danger and everything else. I like firemen. Also, firemen, I've been to a few firehouses. They're almost always in a good mood, which means they're not that stressed out. But let's see. So what's it say? So average working days per month for 30-day month is 10 days. 10. 10. Okay, I average 28 and a half working days out of a 30-day month. Now, I got an easy job, so I don't care. But you work 10 days out of a 30-day month, and then I cannot tell you, especially now that I'm old, when I see a fit 49-year-old dude now, these guys look like they could play college football. And I talked to these guys. I was at Thanksgiving a few years ago, and I was like there was like a dude, he was like 49 or something. I was like, what are you, firing? Oh, how's that going? I'm going to retire next year. I'm like, you're fit, you're trim, you're healthy, young. Yeah, I'm retiring. If I wait a year, I get full benefits and full pay. It's like, all right, you just retire. And by the way, you work 10 days. It's a pretty fucking good job in that department. I'll tell you.
On the other side of that, Ace, you got to admit that it'd be pretty traumatic in certain ways, pulling dead bodies out.
Yeah, we
it's
sign
a
up
really
for it.
hard job. Yeah,
I couldn't be. Paramedic is a different thing for me. And now that there's homeless people fucking dying everywhere, that's a different thing. And starting fires in the hill. But it's funny. Everybody who works in Hollywood, every executive, every producer, they all used to be lawyers. No one used to be a fireman because it's a good fucking job. Lawyers stressful and shitty, and they hate everybody, and they got an ulcer, and they can't stand what they become, kind of thing. It'd be interesting to think what is I'm telling you, the number one job used to be a lawyer. That's why when you run into all these people like Mike August, you go, oh, Mike August, what do you do? Show business? You book shows, do live shows? Yeah, used to be a lawyer, though. Don't fuck with him. Everything's like used to be a lawyer. Used to be a lawyer. Lawyers, the number one, I've spent a ton of money, trained my ass off, went to a ton of school, passed the bar, and I'm not doing it anymore. So that's like the number one job. Doctor, there's a fair bit of doctor. There's a fair bit of used to be school teacher. A lot of used to teach history. Used to be a cop. There's fair amount of used to be a cop. Never hear the used to be a fireman because it's a good gig.
You just settle in and get that pension.
10 days you average.
Chilean Dalmatians? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so my whole thing is, I don't know, and they get paid okay, and I don't need them to have a raise. But what I would say is, look, for the price of the bullet train that'll never be completed, we could have had aqueducts and a system and fire hydrants that worked and alert systems.
Could have paved over Merced.
We could have had planes that dropped the chemical retardant and everything. Like, why don't we just take money from somewhere and put it into the system? That's fine. Okay.
Next up, Trump says Diddy asked for a presidential pardon after receiving a 50-month sentence, and he calls him Puff Daddy.
Do we even know why Diddy, other than kind of being an asshole or being a douche or whatever, like this Mann Act thing, like somebody from Nevada, he brought a prostitute in from Vegas to Henderson to fuck his girlfriend. Like, that's a thing.
Yeah.
That's really, there's a Mann Act. I mean, shouldn't the Mann Act, which was originally, I don't know, look at the Mann Act, but basically, I think, the dominant black heavyweight Johnson, or was it Jim?
Jack Johnson?
Jack Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack Johnson. I think the Mann Act was like partially because of him.
Yeah, he was like bringing prostitutes all over the country with them.
Right. Okay. I love that brothers haven't really slowed their roll in all these years. You know what I mean? But as soon as Southwest Airlines came into our nation's conscience,
yeah,
we should have got rid of the Mann Act. If you, for $89, if you can fly the bitch in from Henderson, he used to drive these people. You know, he'd throw them in the rumble seat of the Duesenberg or the Stutz Bearcat and drag people around from state to state. But if I'm on the fucking phone with my lady friend who lives in Henderson for tax purposes, and I just go, hey, Melinda, you think you can fly out and fuck my girlfriend and I'll watch or whatever it is, That's a Mann Act thing there? That's not Jack Johnson.
Yeah.
The Mann Act, federal law criminalizing interstate, foreign, blah, blah, blah. Passed in 1910, the law was a response to early 19th fears of industrialization, urbanization, immigration. Where's the Jack Johnson part of the Mann Act? The act is a response. Let's see if you can figure out Jack. Anyway, it was like put in place to bust successful black men. And so maybe
it was used as intended.
There's precedent for this, but
it's also okay. His team is arguing later on here we go. Jack Johnson was convicted in 1913 for violating the Mann Act, also known as the White Slave Traffic Act, a federal law prohibiting the transport of women across state lines for immoral purposes. Despite the law's stated goal combating prostitution and trafficking, the prosecution of the first black heavyweight champion was widely seen as racially motivated due to public outrage over his relationships with white women.
Yeah,
Johnson fled the country before his sentence, living in exile for several years before returning to the U.S. and serving his prison term. 2018, Donald Trump issued a posthumous pardon for Johnson, acknowledging the racially motivated injustice.
Right. So P. Diddy was like, hey, remember he did for Jack Johnson? How about this brother right over here? So P. Diddy's a bad dude, but I don't think you should go to prison for just being a horrible person. If we're going to bring up
breaking some laws,
if we're going to bring up some charges, then bring up some charges. And this just didn't.
That's what his team plans on arguing at the appeal. I read that that the whole point of the sentence was they were trying to prosecute it or charge him with other crimes that didn't get found guilty on. So the judge is using his discretion.
On the other hand, 4 years, while it may suck, it's big picture. Diddy did okay.
Yeah.
And also, he's got time served, right? I mean, he's got a year worth of time served. Oh, Diddy saying white men like Trump need to be. Oh, we got Diddy. Uh-oh. Yeah, Diddy's not going to help his case here.
If this man is elected, we're not standing by no more getting killed. We're not scared of anybody standing up and standing by. We're on the verge of a race war.
It's not going to stand by. All right, well, Trump should let him rot in fucking prison in that case. All right.
By the way, so Jack Johnson got in trouble because he brought his own prostitute, one that he already had a relationship with across state lines, to his fight. So they used it. Yeah, it was definitely racially motivated in him. But he got a posthumous pardon. Guess who pardoned him?
Trump.
2018.
Yeah, well, he read that. But yeah. I wonder, fellas, I'll tell you what I like to do. Dawson, you go back and forth. You go to Vegas every once in a while. Sometimes you get a lady friend. When you're
depends on the price, but yeah.
When you're coming back from Vegas with your lady friend, you should go, I don't think we should travel in the same car. And then they go, why? And then you go, well, there's the Mann Act. And then they go, well, what's that for? Well, you can't take prostitutes across. And then they go, I'm not a prostitute. And you go, okay.
He drops her off at Buffalo Bills.
Now, listen, not technically, yes, you're not technically a prostitute, but you've, definitely been with some dudes. And I just don't want to chance it. You understand? Yeah. And I'm just going to drop you off at Whiskey Pete's.
That's it.
You can thumb into North Hollywood.
Yeah, just thumb it from Terribles.
Yeah. I'll drop you off. They have 57 pumps, no waiting. Right. Speaking of pumping, you've done a lot of that. And again, what is a professional prostitute? What's an amateur prostitute? I don't want to find out. So I'm just going to drop you off at Whiskey Pete's. You thumb it to my place in North Hollywood, and, no hard feelings. I'll see you in 7 hours.
Well, the ride home would be more peaceful.
All right, what else you got?
All right, I got that AI could wipe out 100 million U.S. jobs from nurses to truck drivers over the next decade, according to a report by Bernie Sanders. The analysis, ironically based on ChatGPT findings, found a new tech could erase jobs from a wide range of fields, including white and blue-collar jobs. 40% of registered nurses could lose their job, 47% of truck drivers, 64% of accountants, 65% of teaching assistants.
Hold on. Nurses in the 40s.
Nurses in the 40s, yeah.
Truck
47.
drivers in the 40s, too.
Yep.
And then teachers in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, listen, in a way I like it because it forces a trade. It's like you got to think about a trade, man. If you got a young son or a daughter, you got to think about a trade because in all my trade experience, the distance we are from putting data in a computer and have it do the accounting or the tax burden for the following quarter, whatever that it could figure out, that the self-driving cars, stuff like that go into the apartment building, demo out the kitchen, install, hang the drywall, tape and mud, put the tile down, grout the tile, install the new cabinets, install the plumbing. Like, we're 100 years away from that robot. Like we got robots and they go, that robot can dance and that robot can jog and stuff like that. But, the shit that these guys are doing, installing just something like a very basic part of plumbing would be installing a garbage disposal. That's kind of easy DIY stuff. We're a long ways away from a robot being able to show up and install a garbage disposal, and not to mention, roofing, and also lots of sort of editorial decisions you have to make sort of there. It's not just all about move one thing to the next place. Speaking of that, and Andrew has a picture of it. I sent him an update. They are starting on one lot I've seen in Malibu. They're starting to do the caissons into the ground. And I went by and I looked at the length of the cage, the caisson cage, a round cage, probably 2 foot around. I don't know, looks like Watts Towers or something. And if you go to the next picture, it's all rebar. I don't know why it's purple, but that shit is 6 stories. And it gets dropped into the ground and it goes all the way down, all the way into the earth. Like, I don't know that people know. I think I sent you a couple of these, Andrew. I don't know that people know how far into the ground this shit goes.
Is that earthquake proof? That's the reason for this? I don't
This
understand.
is more with the water. I don't know. But if you look at this picture, you can go to adamcarolla.com. These are the cages that get dropped into the hole after the caisson drills into the earth. These things ain't 20 feet long.
No.
These things go off into the sunset. And by the way, they don't stick out of the earth. They go all the way in. So you got to drill all the way down.
And they drop this filled with concrete.
Yes, but here's the whole thing. Remember, Dawson, I'm not going to put you on the spot here, but remember the famous Joel McHale rant about him wanting a swimming pool?
Yes.
And I want my house built in 1929 with nothing.
Nothing.
The nothing rant. Now, if you can find the nothing rant, we'll accept it. But here's what I'm saying. Every house that's burnt down now that was built there in the 40s and 50s sat on telephone poles that got pounded 10 feet into the ground. Literally a telephone pole that was 11 inches around, made of wood, dipped in creosote, like dipped in tar, and then a pile driver just whacked it into the ground and whacked it in the ground 14 feet.
And we regulated ourselves into drilling to the center of the earth to dip caissons.
And then the house was built on top of those pylons, like the Malibu Pier. Wait a minute. Andrew, what year's the Malibu Pier? The Malibu Pier must be from the 40s or 50s. It's all just pylons pounded into the ground, out in the ocean.
Yeah.
Malibu Pier's been there for 65, 80 years. All right. So the point is, the point is this. They used to do it, and then they built the house in 1947. And in 2025, the house was fine. But then the fire took it. And now they go, you must build Hitler's bunker. And they go, but the house that was here before was on telephone poles that just got pounded into the ground. And they go, we're going to need 20 caissons all going 30 feet into bedrock. And those fucking things.
Yeah, who wrote this law? The rebar lobby?
When you stand under a 6-story building and you look up to a 6-story building, that's how far this stuff goes in. And by the way, that just gets you to the soil line. That gets you to the ground. You could, by the way, you could spend $3 million drilling, dropping yards and yards and yards of concrete pumped into everything, and you could put 20 of these things all around, all according to what the engineer wanted, blah, blah, blah. I could show up with a flathead shovel. You could have $2 million in this. I could show up with a flathead shovel and just shovel some sand over the top. The top looks like you took a trash can lid from a trash can and just put it on the ground. And you could walk up and go, well, they haven't started work here yet. Like, you couldn't even see it. What it would take to move that house with those 70 feet into the ground with hundreds of yards of concrete. And by the way, they're all going to get tied together with these huge grade beams. I mean, you are talking indestructible. And my whole thing, here's my whole thing. Okay, you have to upgrade from the telephone poles. Malibu Pier, 1905. It's still there. It's all wood. There's no caissons. It's just wood in the ground, just like every one of these houses was just wood in the ground. So here's what I'm saying. Here's all I'm saying. You would like to upgrade. Okay, fine. We didn't have the technology back then. Now we do have the technology. We have the rebar. We have the caisson rigs. We can pump the concrete. What you're saying is reasonable. So you making this new structure 5 times stronger than the old structure, I'll abide by that. It's going to take extra time. It's going to cost money. But fine, we'll make it 5 times stronger or 10 times stronger. But you are building this 2,000 times stronger. 2,000 times. Yeah. I mean, the difference between a telephone pole being pounded into the sand 12 feet and 7-story caissons littered all over the place with grade beams and rebar and pumped concrete. It's insane. It is so overkill that you don't. And so what happens is people go, it's a safety first kind of. Yeah, it's a safety first, but someone has to pay for that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, meaning you could go, I want to build a house. And then someone could go, I want 4-foot thick concrete walls in my house. And you'd go, yeah, I don't want to pay for that. That's going to cost too much. It's not worth it. You understand? You're making a house that could defeat an atom bomb. Somebody is paying, and the city doesn't pay for it. So the city engineer just goes, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go. How far do you want to go into bedrock? 5 feet. Make it 25 feet. Because they're not the one who's there drilling it and doing it. It is, if this, by the way, this is just on a lot in Malibu. This is next to Grant Cardone's house. I was just walking last night and I saw it. And then I got up this morning and I went there to take a picture like an insane man. And I talked to the guys working the caisson rig. And by the way, it's not a fast process. You got to go down all the way down. Anyway, I talked to the guys and they were like, yeah, we're going about 70 feet, each one of these. I'm like, okay, you're going to have $3 million tied in to shit we can't see. I mean, they'll get the grade beams poured and stuff, but before the first 2x4 piece of plywood, the first building piece of material, just what's in the ground, you have millions of dollars into the ground.
I don't understand the benefit. Like,
if you're going here's the benefit
against earthquakes. I don't get
bureaucrats.
I know. Everybody needs a job.
Well, the benefit is this. I will never, if I'm the engineer, right, and you go, I want to engineer this thing. Could be a tool shed, and I go, it's just a 8x8 tool shed. We don't need more than a 2x4 roof rafter or ceiling joist. It's nothing, and I go, yeah, okay, make it a 2x10. And you go, oh, that's way over for what I need. It doesn't have a second story. And I go, yeah, let's make it a 2x10. And you go, but that's going to cost a lot of money. It's going to take more time. Whatever. In my world, if it's 2x4s and somebody falls through the roof, I'm getting sued.
Yeah.
I'll just go 2x10 and then I'm covered.
Yeah.
So I'll go maximum and then I'll be covered. So that's what they do. They just go, you want to do caissons 20 feet into the ground? You go, yeah. They go, make it 80 feet.
And
they just walk away. They don't. Yeah. If they had to cut a check, they wouldn't do it.
I believe in La Jolla, there were some examples where they didn't get down into the bedrock and they didn't really secure the foundation to the cliffs, and I think some of those resulted in some major lawsuits a long time ago.
It can happen, but let's not forget every other house that burnt down was on telephone poles across from the 1905 telephone pole pier called the Malibu Pier, and now you got these cages, and it's going to be $200,000 a cage to drill it, drop it, form it, fill it with concrete, and that just gets you to the dirt. It literally just gets you to the dirt.
And then conversely, you have like no new regulations on fire retardant and new, you know what I mean?
You can frame it out of wood after that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So 0 cents.
I don't know, but if somebody said, look, if you were in Nevada and you're on a flat lot and somebody said, I want to build a 2,000 square foot home here, because these houses are only going to be 1,800 feet, 2,000 square feet. They're not going to be that big. And he said, all right. And you go, how much? You go, well, let's say the foundation, slab, footing, whatever, you're in for $75,000 or $100,000 or whatever. Then you can build the house for, $400 a square foot. But what if I said it's going to be $3 million before you start building anything? There's going to be It's going to be $3 million buried in the ground before you start anything. That's the crazy part. So I didn't.
So it's like a nightclub. They're like charging $70 for a drink. That way they keep the pours out.
I just know it's city, it's bureaucracy. It only goes one way, and it gets crazier, and the engineering gets crazier, and it just goes deeper and bigger and stronger and more unnecessary. And I did it. I did it when I pulled a permit to build my super garage. I had to put, I don't know if you have that, but I had to do the caissons.
I got the famous nothing.
Oh, okay.
Yes, if you want to do any building in this goddamn city, especially if it's up in the hills, you must either build the Hoover Dam or Hitler's.
This is like 18 years ago. By the way, this is me 18 years ago ringing the bell. Go ahead, sir.
Hide behind the veil of safety. Hey, just playing it safe. Hey, better safe than sorry. Hey, we're an earthquake country. My house was built in 1929. It has no reinforced concrete, no plywood, because plywood wasn't invented, no Simpson straps, no HDs, no hold downs, no all thread, no J bolts, no nothing. 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 They had some poor Irish guy, poor foundation, and they set a house on it.
He's sweating blood.
That was it. There was no straps and no Tico clips and no 835s and no continuous shear wall and no moments and no nothing. No nailing schedule, no inspector, no nothing. Now, nothing.
Nothing.
Now, that house was built in 1929, and you know where it is today? Right the F where it was put. By all the dead people with no hold downs and no rebar and no bunkers and no straps and no nothing. Why? It's an earthquake country. It's an earthquake country. Now, what do you think the house did, you retards? Did it sprout legs and run to Montana every time there was an earthquake and then hustle back and land on its foundation?
By the way, this is at about 8:20 on a nice August morning. in 2006.
Years, no pylons, no grade beams,
That's
no
Joe
retaining
McHale.
walls, nothing!
I don't know what we're yelling about!
80 goddamn years through every goddamn earthquake this city could put up, and it has moved not an inch. But yet, when I add a garage onto the back of the house, it has to withstand an oil tanker running aground and plowing into the side of it. Why? Because the structure that I build new can't be twice as strong as the existing house, can't be 10 times as strong, can't be 1,000 times as strong. It must be 1 million times as strong as the structure that it's next to. Well, first off, what do you think, where do you think I mean the kids are going to be when the next big one hits? In the garage? Hey, kids, we moved your cribs out to the garage so we can withstand a nuclear attack. Listen, you idiots, make the goddamn thing stronger than the existing structure, not 1 million times stronger.
All right, that went on for another 10 minutes. Of me screaming nothing.
I recall.
It's literally like saying, look, we got a new car and it's a little bit safer. And you go, what's it got? Crumple zones and airbag? No, it's got a full roll cage and fire suppression system, and it's a Kevlar tub, and then you have to wear a 6-way harness. It's like my grandpa's Buick worked fine.
No, need tank treads on that Buick.
Oh, I'm going to keep going over there and checking those. I'm going to find out how many yards they got to pump in every one of those holes. It is such
what's the path
colossal
to like
overkill.
deregulation? Would it have to be a complete regime change? Get Newsom
all right,
out of there?
So you got to convince. You have to convince dumb chicks that less safe is better.
All right,
number
good
one.
luck.
Yeah,
Good luck
number one.
explaining that to Kate Reporter.
Right. The same bitches who shut schools down for 2 years because of school safety and teacher safety. And, well, okay, so your kid's healthy, but what if he gets it and brings it home? Because we all live with our grandparents, don't you know? Because it's like Italy in 1939 here in Southern California. You're going to have to convince one of those bitches that we should make it less safe, that we should go in a less safety direction, even though basically what you're saying is go to 1,000 times overbuilt. Can we just go to 500 times overbuilt? Right. But they would never go. So we're going less safety, which optically they don't like.
No.
We're going with, hey, the rich guy cutting the checks is getting gouged. So it's Rich Whitey wants a break and less safety. That's strike 1 and 2 for those bitches. It's not like they ever cut a check. They just tell you to cut a check. And it would also get them to have to understand some like basic engineering and some basic economics and some basic decency. And that's how the
it's a bridge too far.
Right. They're the people that blame Toyota for catalytic converter theft. So they're not clear. That you have to convince them, and then something on the Coastal Commission, and it's a bunch of angry bitches who are, by the way, pissed at rich people who are building on the coast.
Well, if you could reframe it as like a housing crisis solution to bring the regulations down, I think that could win some voters.
Yeah, if I told them my transitioning mixed race son/daughter wept openly because of the depth of these caissons, then maybe I could make some headway. All right, Mayhem, you've done it again. I'm going to be at Rodney's in New York doing stand-up. Dr. Drew's going to do stand-up for the first time in his career. Some tickets left for that. Yeah,
Where?
Cat
I got to
Tim.
go. I got to
We'll
see
film
this.
it. Cat Tim's going to be there. We're doing a live pod, and then we're doing a stand-up show. And Cat's going to do stand-up as well. Soul Joel's after that. Pottstown doing some stand-up there. And you can go to adamcarolla.com for all the live shows. Mayhem, you got anywhere to be?
Yeah, man, I'm on the YouTube Mayhem show.
Go to the YouTube Mayhem show. Chef Gruel as well, American Gravy. Until next time, Adam Carolla for Chef Gruel and Mayhem. Say it. Mahalo. You take L.A. and you take New York, right? And you go, two of the premier, biggest cities in the world, and, you know, financial hubs and innovators and everything like that. And you go, here is the starting lineup of the mayors they've had for the last 20 years. Mm-hmm. And you go, okay, Tony Villar, least impressive guy. I mean, you failed the bar 4 times.
Yeah.
4 times you failed the bar. And you sound like a fucking dope when you talk. Eric Adams, guy's a fucking idiot. Karen Bass, socialist dope. No one's run a business. No one's done anything. Nobody's had any success. Nobody. Eric Garcetti's in India right now. I don't know, working in they gave him some consulate job just to fucking give him the fuck off the United States. So
he was the ambassador to India.
He stopped doing damage here, and we send it. He's gone. The point, and then there was De Blasio. De Blasio. Remember De Blasio sitting there going, hey, if you eat a cheeseburger and you get a shot, well, no, what are these? Crinkle fries? Hey, Bob, is it too early to eat crinkle fries? It's never too early for crinkle fries. Okay, you get an experimental vaccine and you can get a $2.50 cheeseburger. You want a free burger? You take Eric Adams. You got to write this down now. Let's see.
All right, give me a pen.
We got Eric Adams. We got Mandami, who's going to be fucking worse. You got Antonio Villaraigosa. You got Mayor Bass. And then you got, who'd I just say out of New York? Oh, here he is. Sorry. We'll play you this. Who is this? Sorry.
This is Bill de Blasio.
Bill de Blasio. Bill de Blasio. You take these 6 people. This is the last. These are the people who ran L.A. and New York for the last 20 years, and they're all fucking dopes. Can you believe? Like, how fucking dumb are we? Like, hey, here's the keys to the biggest city and the financial hub and the Hollywood and everything else, and we're going to get these guys with these fucking 10-cent heads or worse, and Mondami or Karen Bass, like, physically don't like the people that make the money in the city and the financial people and stuff like that. Here you go, run the fucking city. That's how fucking dumb these 2 cities are. And I mean, you go back, we'll hear him, but you go with Villaraigosa, we're going back like 16 years. I don't know when de Blasio started. We can work it out, but I mean, together.
I think he was a one-term mayor during COVID.
We'll look that up. And then who before him, though? I mean, we got
Bloomberg?
I don't know if it's Bloomberg. Yeah. Combined, it's 30 years of dopes running these cities into the fucking ground. But we're just getting started with Mondami.
Yeah, this sounds like the worst word problem ever, where you're like, Karen Bass, Mondami, Garcetti are all on a bullet train. Well, a non-existent bullet train, one that doesn't exist. But they're all traveling at the speed of light to a place of nowhere.
Right. All right. So de Blasio hits in 14. So that's 11 years. And then when you go back to Antonio Villaraigosa, he hits in, I don't know, 08 or something like that. You basically got 30 years of both these cities being run by incompetent fucking dopes, which is, by the way, why they're falling apart, everybody, if you'd like to know. But all right, let's listen to retarded de Blasio telling you, hey, take an experimental vaccine that may have long-term negative ramifications, but you can get $4 worth of crinkle fries.
Free fries when you get vaccinated? I got vaccinated. You're saying I could get this? These delicious fries? Wait a minute. But there's also a burger element to this?
It's a fucking retard.
Yeah, that's why they put
let me
toys
check
in
with
Happy
Bill.
Meals.
Is it too early in the day to eat a burger? No. This could be breakfast? Okay. I want you to look at this and think about, again, some people love hamburgers, some don't. Really want to respect all ways of life.
Everybody.
But if this is appealing to you, just think of this when you think of vaccination. Vaccination.
And a side of fries. Jesus Christ. These guys are criminal dopes.
I'm getting a very good feeling.
A very good feeling about $4 worth of fucking junk food. You get your kid experimentally vaccinated.
Yeah, you also get a case of the shakes, too, after you get that vaccine.
You get the shakes. In this case, it'd be vanilla. But in Eric Adams, it'd be a chocolate shake.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
The 2 biggest cities really in the world, governed by semi-retarded fucking dopes for a 30-year run. 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about
Okay, listen. Whoever's writing on the screen, de Blasio followed by Eric Adams and now Mandami. Yes, the thing I've been yelling about for 20 minutes, I'm aware the order. I asked
Bloomberg.
when did I asked that, and I asked when did Villaraigosa take office, not if Eric Adams came after, and not who came after Eric Adams. I just told you. I told you all that stuff. But I'm asking, when did Tony Villar, Antonio Villaraigosa, when did he start? That was my question, not if Eric Adams was the mayor. All right.
Yeah, Minnesota, when we had Tim Pawlenty, people bitched about that guy for a long time. And then it moved over to
2005. Sorry for cutting off.
That's right.
2005. So we're going back 20 years of retarded 10-cent headed dopes running Los Angeles. And by the way, if you want to know why there's graffiti everywhere and garbage everywhere and a homeless problem, and everyone goes, oh, there's a problem with homeless, and there's a problem with graffiti, and there's a problem with crime, and where's all the runaway production? Why is everyone shooting in Atlanta and New Mexico? You can't run a fucking city for 20 years with fucking dopes and not expect the city to get shitty. But you couldn't run an unfinished furniture company either with 20 years of dopey family members running it. That's why.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. You were telling me.
Well, first off, hang on. Boys, we got to update the Rant of the Year section for the Ace Awards coming up in 2 weeks because, boy, this is a top contender. I'll tell you that.
Well, what do we expect? And by the way, fuck y'all who keep voting for dopes. You get this.
Yeah.